All right, we can do it. Feeling nervous today. I don't know why I'm feeling so nervous. You guys got any nerves?
I never have nerves because I'm just like...
I don't have to go first. So. Well, wait. How about Kyle intros it if he's not nervous?
Oh, man.
Kyle, intro us. This is episode 93.
Here we go.
I thought it was 94. Is it 93?
That's 93. I double checked.
All right. Welcome, everybody, to the Pickleball Effect podcast. I am your co-host, Kyle, and I am joined today with Mr. Braydon, the host, and A.A. Ron, the co-host / editor extraordinaire.
Coco.
No, well done, Kyle. Thank you for bringing us in. I feel much better now. So this episode is brought to you by Pickleball Central, your one-stop shop for all things pickleball. Need a new paddle? Balls, shoes, they've got it all. Plus, they have a risk-free 30-day paddle trial, a price match guarantee to make sure you're never overpaying, and a rewards program. Use the link in the description to snag up to 10% off most items. Every order through that link also helps support the podcast, so it's a win-win. Next time you're shopping, think of Pickleball Central. Much smoother than that.
Very smooth as butter.
Smooth.
Yeah, that was buttery. We could describe that as buttery. So this week, weekly update, I got some stuff I want to talk through with the main paddle monitor, made some updates to that. We got over 600 people in there now, which is pretty exciting. So we have some stats and some things I want to just throw at you guys we can talk through that are different. It's fun having the stats now to compare to what I got about 5 months ago when I did that other pulse, that little paddle pulse I did. And so this, there's been some shifts. And so it's been fun to follow that or see that in the data. And then we're going to skip 3-0 to 5-0 this week. We got Aaron it out by Aaron himself. Kyle's corner. Looks like we got an MLP update.
Yeah,
something about a JOOLA paddle?
Yeah, pretty short. Yeah, I got a little information on the JOOLA 5. I don't know. Not a lot of details, just a little bit. I could only get a little bit from the guy that I talked to.
From your sources?
Pulls it out.
From my sources. Yeah.
And then for Paddle, Babble, and Gear, okay, this could be a good one. This will be a fun discussion. So Selkirk launches their Boomstik, what's it been, 2 weeks?
Something like that.
We now have two, you could call them competitors, you could call them copies, you could call them whatever you want, but we have two paddles from two different companies that play a lot like these Boomstiks that we're going to talk about. One is from Bread and Butter, and the other is from Ronbus. The Bread and Butter, we had some insight that it was happening, it was coming possibly. Ronbus just out of the blue, just plopped it right in front of us. It was actually kind of funny. I got an email earlier this week from Dong at Ronbus saying, "Hey, we're dropping a new full foam paddle." I was like, "Oh wow, okay." And then I'm like reading up on it, and then my doorbell rings maybe an hour later, and voila, some brand new Ronbuses sitting at my door.
That's a good angle. Just do late emails, follow the shipping, and then you'd be like, so you'll notice you'll have a paddle in your mailbox.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was.
Brands, there you go.
So he nailed the timing there, but I've played all of these, and so we'll do some comparisons. There's a big price differences between all three of these, which is a big factor. And then we'll talk about performance, look at X-rays, do some of that fun stuff. And then for paddle fitting of the week, we got Aaron on here. Aaron's been in the main paddle monitor. He's got his paddle journey set up. We're going to go through his paddle journey. Next week, I think we'll do Kyle's.
Yeah.
And then, that's going to be a big list if we're doing Kyle's.
Hey.
I thought we were doing a cap at 20.
Yeah, I'll go in there and I will start at my Rally Tyro Pro, and I'll go all the way.
Dear Diary.
That'll we may have to be a dedicated episode. I guess.
Yeah.
26 mains that Kyle had.
Yeah.
And then after we do Kyle's next week, then we'll start featuring people's in the app and their journeys, because it's a lot of people have made their paddle journeys, made them public, and I don't know about you guys, but I've really enjoyed walking or just reading through these, seeing people's descriptions of why they switch paddles. And some people are all over the place. Some people definitely have like a vibe, or you could tell what their likes are and what their preferences. And anyways. So just going into weekly update, let's talk main paddle monitor. So super pumped about this last week, announced it, got it out into the open. There was, thanks to everyone who signed up early, we had about, I want to say there was 270 people in there initially during the podcast, and then the app ran into some issues with how I was managing the data. So while people were getting into the system, I was adding new paddles that people were requesting, and the data, it wasn't handling me adding paddles ended up like deleting a bunch, and it got real messed up in there. And so it was a good problem to run into early. I ended up so I fixed all the data management stuff, added a few different security elements to it. So the app's in a really good place. It's able to scale now, and we ran it. Got those big bugs out of the way. And so the app's stable. It's in a good spot. We've now got about 600 people on there, which is really exciting. Yeah. So when we initially launched it last week, we had the paddle journeys, and then we had the live leaderboard page. I since added a paddle setup page. So this was an idea that came to me after last week's podcast that I'm actually really excited about. I think there's gonna be a lot of value in this. So when I'm sure you guys have seen this a bunch. You're in Discord or you're on Facebook. You're talking about a paddle. One of the questions that inevitably comes up is, what is your setup? Tell me what your setup is. And people talk about, this is how I do it, why I do it. So there's now a section within your paddle journey when you're setting up, your paddle history. You have your 5 paddles in there. There's a block where you can go in and add what your setup is, and then that section of what your setup is siphoned off to another paddle setup feed where you can go search any paddle, and then it's going to pull up all of the setups that people have submitted for that paddle and the reasons why they set that paddle up the way they did. And so that stuff can now be cataloged, categorized, and just available for anyone to go search, and if they're looking for inspiration on how to set up their paddle. And so that's really pumped about that. I think that's a cool feature. And then as I'm thinking about the future of this app, I was like, okay, it's got some community elements to it. The live leaderboard's really cool. But how do we keep people coming back? How do we turn this into something that people check more regularly rather than once every few months to come log their, maybe change their new main, hopefully. And so I think of other really successful apps. You have like Facebook and Discord that are really popular. And I think it's the conversation that keeps people coming back. They want to see what people are talking about. They comment, they want to see, just what conversations are happening. So I think conversation is a big element. So I want to add a new page that has a really slick, fully blown, live chat type feature where, almost like a Discord style where you can see like the bubble pop up, like, oh, someone's typing. And so it'll be live back and forth. You don't have to refresh the page to see comments.
Nice.
So create a really slick, and I think it needs to be good though. Like chat features that you have to refresh or comments, they just suck. It's got to be live.
Yeah.
So I did some research on that. That's doable. And so I'm going to start working on implementing that when I get back from a trip. I'm going on a trip next week. I'll be gone all week. But when I come back, I'll start working on that. So that's phase 2. Phase 3 will be turning it into a phone app. I think having it as a phone app, easy to access, will enhance the chat feature and just make it really easy to come back and contribute, be part of the community, and just want to turn it into this paddle nerd community that's built for paddle nerds, right? Like the live leaderboard, the paddle journeys, all this stuff is really, really cool. It's really, really fun. And if you are interested in paddles at all, of what's popular, what people are using, how they're talking about it, where they're switching, like this is a really fun and cool app to be a part of. And now that we have 600 people in there, there's a lot of really, really cool data. And so I wanted to throw some of these numbers at you. And some of these numbers are in reference to the data that I had collected 5 months ago. So we saw some shifts and trends, and it was fun to see that. So I have some call outs here. I want to get your guys' thoughts on these.
Sweet.
So stat number 1, we're going to talk about paddles. I'm just going to list off the top 10 real quick. Top 10 paddles. I have it right in front of me. We have J2NF is number 1.
Dang.
Power Vapor from 11.624 is 2. True Foam Genesis 4 is 3. Then we got the GX2 Power Hybrid. Perseus Pro IV 16, the Double Black Diamond 16 millimeter, Boomstik Elongated, True Foam Genesis 2, JFC Plus, then the True Foam Genesis 1.
Wow.
So that's where we're at top 10. Looking at that top 10 compared to what we had 5 months ago, we have the J2NF TFG4 and the Gearbox GX2 Power Hybrid are all new entrants into the top 5. Those are all new releases since we last did the poll. So they're now in the top 5, and they bumped out the J2K, the Double Black Diamond, and the Pulse V out of the top 5. With the Pulse V and the J2K just out of the top 10, though the DBD 16 still remains within the top 10.
Interesting.
Any thoughts from hearing that?
I mean,
6-0. 6-0. Great. I mean, like it's halfway through 2025, and like the DBD is still like the tried and true.
Hanging on.
Like what? I mean, because you could even, sorry, Dale. People, we forever said like just go buy a J2K, but like the DBD like still hangs on.
Yeah.
And again, it's not how much. I don't even know how much is a DBD. 150.
I think it's still 160, so 180 before
At
cut.
once, I mean, I feel like the only reason is if it crawled closer to 100 at this point. But the fact that it's still, is it old lists? Is it newcomers coming into pickleball and checking like outdated information? And
So
then, why is that paddle still so popular in at this point in 2025 when there's better budget options?
I will say this: when the first 200 or about 300 users were users that came from the podcast announcement last week and from talking about it on Instagram, the second 300 that came through came from my email list, which is more of a casual follower versus the other ones. And so the DBD was not in the top 10. It hardly had any users until I did the email newsletter and got signed up to that.
Okay.
So the more casual follower or people, I'm guessing aren't as big of enthusiasts as those first 300. That's the group that's still liking and using the DBD 16. But even still, to have that group still using that paddle, coming back, I mean, they're obviously interested in paddles. They're on my newsletter. They interact with my stuff I send out to them. But I think like the core hardcore enthusiasts, those aren't the ones playing the DBD. It's more the casual paddle followers, I guess, if you want to say that.
Yeah.
Kyle, you have some thoughts?
No, I mean, that's actually the fact that the DVD is still in there is pretty surprising. The ones that broke into the top list doesn't surprise me at all because those were solid releases. Honestly, I think if the Boomstik wouldn't have been $333, that would probably be in that list as well. I do think that price kind of hurt as far as the huge adoption that I was guessing would happen.
Yeah, but even still, Selkirk hardly had any paddle usage at all in the 5 months ago. Mm-hmm. Fast forward to now, they now have a top 10 paddle and the Boomstik elongated, and they're a top 5 brand, which we'll get into next.
Okay.
So Selkirk's making moves. They're jumping in.
Yep.
They're making a comeback within this enthusiast market. Power Vapor still holding strong.
Yeah.
It was number 1 before. It is now number 2, second to the J2NF. The J2NF has 34 players. Power Vapor has 27. So the NF is got the most by a decent number. And then it's pretty tight from the Vapor, True Foam, GX2. They're all like 22, 25. And but yeah, that's so that was fun to see the new. But in conjunction with that, okay, J2NF, Power Vapor, True Foam Genesis 4, and the hybrid. So 4 of the top 5 paddles are hybrid shaped.
Yep.
Yeah.
So previously, 5 months ago, Snapshot was elongated by a decent margin over hybrid and wide body as far as the most popular shape. Fast forward, the Carbon launches a hybrid. We have the popularity of the J2NF is going to play a role in this. And then Gearbox launching a hybrid all contribute to pushing hybrid past elongated as the most popular paddle shape amongst everybody. However, when you drill down to levels, so if I'm looking at 4 or 5 plus, elongated is still the preferred shape. Dude, what's up with that? Why do advanced players think or feel that elongated is the best shape? I still think there's a place for hybrids and wide bodies at the advanced level. And in general, I think there's more pros than cons for a hybrid and wide body over an elongated. But that's not what the data shows. The advanced players still gravitate to elongated.
I think
I don't know when you get to the higher. Yeah, you go for it, Kyle.
Well, I was just saying, I think that in the higher levels, you're still going to find a greater percentage of ex-tennis players, and that they gravitate towards that shape. I think as we see more people get brought up through pickleball as like the main sport, and they didn't play tennis, I think the hybrid will probably overtake it eventually. But while we have these like legacy tennis players that are now playing pickleball, I think elongated's going to hold on to the top until we have those newer pickleball bred players, surpass that. That's just my thoughts.
Yeah, it's a good take.
And I would add, I just feel like when you get to the 4.5 plus, 5.0 fringe, 5.0 plus, I think it's like a game of minute differences. And so if a paddle is like 2 to 5% better, a player will take that. And a lot of times I think when your skill is that high, you generally would take at least for me, hybrids and wide bodies for like defensive properties or like honestly just sweet spot. But I think when you get better, you don't miss the sweet spot or you miss it a lot less. And so the pluses of elongated on reach, on having more whip for speed ups at the kitchen or for big drives, I think outweigh the cons of things that you don't have when you're at a worse skill level. And so I know lots of people that want hybrids because like they want the offensive abilities that or elongateds that those paddles have that you're losing a little bit when you go to hybrids and wide bodies, which I think just fit a worse player slightly.
Sure. And I would argue that as you move up in level, as the speed increases, the need for extra forgiveness, I think, is greater. When I'm blocking the speed up, when I'm resetting, when I'm reaching, when I'm scrambling, when I'm at the net, that to me, that extra forgiveness and that speed outweighs any offensive properties that I gain from an elongated. That's my perspective. But I'm also and I'm 6'2". You may say, "Oh, Braydon, you're super tall. You don't need the reach." I think that changes. I don't think it changes anything. I don't think height should particularly determine what your paddle shape should be. I think it should be the maneuverability, the forgiveness, or the power output or properties that you want more than anything else versus reach. And I think reach is I don't know. It's blown up in my that little extra half inch at the kitchen. I don't think is going to change or going to do more for you in a game than having that half inch of extra forgiveness from side to side in a game.
Yeah, but whip is a real thing. If you have an elongated, I don't know if at least mentally, when you look at like a wide body paddle and then you look at an elongated, even if it's like less than an inch on the sizing, they look so much different. And I always have felt like I've hit my best drives with an elongated paddle. When you connect and you hit the sweet spot, and you really get like the long handle. Yeah. I feel like if I'm playing with a wide body, like I don't trust myself to have drives because I think I'm going to like hit my leg. The paddle's so wide. And so I don't know. I feel more confident to hit the ball hard with an elongated paddle. But I don't know. Maybe that's stupid. You're right. Because like on sizing, it doesn't look that different. But when you look at this paddle in person, like the two shapes between a wide body and elongated feel very different.
Sure.
I think for
go ahead. Go ahead.
I think for a long time, going back to like what Aaron's talking about whip, for a long time, I do feel like only elongateds had the longer handle. And a lot of people were drawn to that because you do get more whip. But now we are seeing the other shapes get long handles.
Yeah, it's true.
But that's more of a recent thing. Because I know like when I first started, a wide paddle always had a shorter handle.
Yeah, dude. Why did they do that?
I don't know.
Like pair short paddles with short handles and longer paddles with long handles. Like everybody did that for a long time.
Exactly. That was like the standard. So I do think that pushed a lot of people towards elongated paddles too, because that was the only way you got your longer handle.
Yeah. But regardless, we're starting to see more hybrids out there.
Yeah.
And we'll see if that trend continues. Maybe that's just because the J2NF is so popular that's pushing that. Will that continue maybe 4 or 5 months from now as the J2NF series expands and shapes? Are people going to start grabbing the J7? Maybe they're going to grab the J3. We'll see what happens there. But for now, hybrids is at the gives us the most. Another interesting stat here was 5 months ago, 40% of the paddles that people selected were power paddles. That is now 60% of the paddle selections. 20% jump, which is massive.
That's huge.
And and that correlates with the recent releases. A lot of the recent releases have been power paddles. For the people that want the latest and greatest, they're getting power. And so that makes sense there, but still 60% of power paddles, that's a lot. How many of those people do you think do not need a power paddle?
100. Myself included.
They're just so fun though.
But you know what? Power paddles have never they've never been more forgiving with foam. They've never been like softer. They've never been easier to control. Again, all of these reasons, I almost feel like people are choosing bad things and then now they're getting like validated later because paddles are getting better. Yeah. Like they're still choosing it for the wrong reasons. But again, it has never been a better time if you're going to make a bad choice and chase power. with all of these, properties and like sweet spots that they've never been bigger on power paddles. And like forever, like remember the TKO Bantam was like, if you want like supreme pop and power, that's what you had to get.
That was it. Yeah,
but
you had to go with the dime.
Before that,
spot.
like maybe a power air, but like, right, there was such like draw.
Yeah.
Like there were such pros and cons, and now it's just like,
yeah, the trade-offs.
like I played the boomstick and like with the weights on it. I mean, like that elongated the white sweet spot feels great. And like, so I don't know.
Yeah, that's a great point. Kyle and I've talked about this a few times. To your exact point, the power category has just totally shifted in the like super recently, right?
Yeah.
You have power paddles across all shapes. You have different feels now with foam. Foam was a big factor in changing the variability within. Yeah. And so it's there's definitely a lot more attraction to it. And power paddles are more approachable. They are easier to play, are easier to manage compared to pass. So yeah, that could be a huge factor contributing to that as well.
Yeah.
But again, people are choosing them for the wrong reasons. They've never like they're not, they would have bought it even if it had that same terrible sweet spot. People just want to chase power.
Yep.
And so if it, like they're just getting vindicated now, but they still have the they still stink.
Yeah.
They still stink.
Hey,
you know who you are.
I'm gonna plug my phone in real quick. You guys can keep going though.
Okay.
I just don't want to die.
Yep.
Let's time them, Braydon. What do you think?
Less stat here, or last stat for paddle related things, or the like top paddles is Gen 3 is still the most popular. Gen 4 is creeping up on it. It's just those are the top two. Like all the other, Gen 2 is just almost is evaporating pretty quickly. It's all Gen 3, Gen 4 for the most part.
Yep.
And then moving to brands. So let's look at top brands. I'm going to list those real quick, and then I have a couple of stats around those. So number one by a good margin is 11.624. This is still, they were the number one brand by like far and above all the others 5 months ago, and they're still the number one brand. So they're first place with 89 players. Their most popular paddles are the Power Vapor, the Alpha Pro Power, Hirache, the Power Peg, all their power paddles.
Dang.
And then in second place is Honolulu with 77 players. So a pretty decent drop there. Like 11.624 has a 14% market share. Honolulu has a 12%, so a 2% drop. And then it gets pretty tight, these next three. So we have Honolulu and then Carbon and then JOOLA at number 4.
Okay.
Selkirk at number 5. And then we see, after Selkirk, we see a pretty good drop off into brands 6 through 10, which is 6.0, Gearbox, Vatic Pro, Franklin, and Paddletech.
Yeah.
So looking at these, one thing I called out, where was it? So we had Vatic Pro, Paddletech, and Pickleball Apes all fall compared to their rankings 5 months ago. And we saw a rise of Selkirk, Gearbox, and Franklin. The Franklin C45, when I did this 5 months ago, the hybrid, I believe, was the only C45 option available. Since they expanded the series, the Franklin's gotten a lot more popular with just total paddles being used from Franklin. Selkirk has just been completely revived from nearly nothing 5 months ago to the Boomstik and the Eras have quite a bit of usage that are propping them up. And then the Gearbox is just being fully propped by their new GX2 Power Series. But yeah, that's where we're at there. I was actually kind of surprised to see Paddletech in the top 10. I feel like their power paddles now with there's not as much draw to them because the durability benefits aren't as attractive because we have all the foam options now.
Yeah.
And we have big power and pop options that are, are very comparable to those with just better sweet spots. So a little bit surprised to see them hanging on. I feel like they need to release something to get to stay
relevant
in the top 10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't worry, they got that new hybrid that's 120 swing weight. Isn't that what you wanted?
that was the one. And then we Engage was in the top 10, I believe, last time they got knocked off. Engage did just launch some new foam paddles. I don't have those yet, so I can't speak to those, but we'll see if that does anything for them.
They're really small foam.
But small foam?
All foam,
all foam. I think. Yeah, I think they're really small foam and some Gen 3 style ones.
Oh, okay.
And then so that's paddle brands, and then just a fun stat I'll just throw out there of the 600 plus people that have taken or are in the system. There's been 158 different paddles selected as their main paddle and 41 different brands, which is
Wow.
I don't know. That just seems like a lot. Like, there's
I don't think I
so
can
many
name
brands out
41
there.
off the top of my head.
I don't think so either.
I
And
probably
so
so.
that was pretty wild. But yeah, if you want to go see this, data firsthand as it grows, as people go onto it, go check out mainpickleball.com, main.pickleballeffect.com. I'll put a link in the description. Create an account, and you can make your paddle journey, see what other people are doing. It's pretty fun.
Sweet.
Okay, let's go to airing it out.
Let's do it.
This is brought to you by Holy. So we're skipping 3 out of 5 this week. So we're swapping the sponsor over to Aaron. Oh yeah. This is Holy. I feel like you really want to say something, Aaron.
No, no, sorry. I wasn't sure if I was doing ad read. I thought you were going to toss it to me.
Oh, no.
But I mean, Holy, best electrolytes in the game. Fruit Punch, I think, is my favorite flavor. I don't know. They've never sent me anything. But really, if I, Death's Door it had to get electrolytes, Holy would be the only one. So there you go, Braydon.
No, these guys are great. You can use the code PBEffect on their website, and you can use the link in the description to go learn more about them. They got good stuff going on. So go ahead.
Also, next week for airing it out, Kyle, I will make you, or next month, I will make you name all 41 paddle brands.
Okay.
Because you said you could. So just putting that out there.
Wait, Kyle said you could name 40?
Of course he did.
I
said,
think I could name 40.
yeah,
Okay.
look at him.
All right.
Look at him.
All right. We'll give him a
But
week to
now he's
study.
got homework, so maybe we'll jump to like 80 or something ridiculous.
Even still, I don't think I could just drop 40 brands.
Oh man, I bet I could get close. But
If anyone could do it, it would be Kyle.
Yeah. All right, it's time for another round of Airing It Out, the segment where I rant, judge, and shamelessly advertise Braydon because I don't have my own sponsor, even though I guess it was Holy, but I wrote this before it was Holy. So here we go. 2 sponsors. But instead, this week on Airing It Out is proudly sponsored by, I'm going to do Main Paddle Monitor by Pickleball Effect. That's right. The tool Braydon built to track your paddle loyalty, your paddle disloyalty, and your paddle-related emotional instability. If LinkedIn and Duper had a baby, and that baby only cared about Gen 3 or foam paddles and the journey to log them, then you got his site. You can log in, set up, rank your paddle journey, and spy on other people's choices, just like it's the FBI watch list for Gen 5 technology. Go to mainpickleballeffect.com, and remember, if your paddle history looks like a bad relationship timeline, you're not alone.
that's good. That's good.
No,
Okay, so I'm keeping, I know we did spend a ton of time with Main Paddle Monitor, but we're going to dive back in if we can. This week, we're going to do a game called Guess Their Next Paddle. Braydon, sorry, spoilers. I know you wanted to save this for a few episodes from now, but I'd like to cheat and dive in early.
Okay.
I'll read their username, their paddle history, and a quote for what they were looking for in their most recent paddle. Kyle and Braydon, each of you have to guess what their current paddle is based on their journey and the notes on why they switched to their main. 2 points if you guess it right. 1 point if you're close. Again, we can group vote on close or not. And then 0 points if you're wrong. And then I guess 3 points if you can name 41 paddles. Let's ride. Round 1. This is a player at El Gallo. They are 4.5. They previously used the Bread and Butter Filth, the Selkirk Halo XL Control, and the 6.0 Ruby. They loved the spin and hand speed, but needed something a little bit more explosive with a softer swing feel. Not too poppy, though. Kyle, Braydon, what paddle did they switch to?
11.624 Vapor.
I'm gonna say
Vapor?
I'm gonna say TF2.
TF2?
Yeah.
Because I think Kyle gets the win on this. It's J2NF. So because he went TF2, he went foam. I think that's 1 point, Kyle.
Okay.
0
Give it to
points,
him.
Braydon.
Give it to him.
Okay, round 2. This is at Tony Buckets. He's a 4.5 player. Tony Buckets.
Buckets.
Dude, I love Tony. Tony and I go way back to 10 minutes ago when I pulled his info for this segment. Tony's been rocking the Neonic Flare Prime X. The bread and butter Fat Boy.
He follows Pickleball Pursuit.
Yep, yeah. And the Carbon True Foam Genesis 2. So he's a wide body user.
Yeah.
And then he put on his notes, I wanted a power leaning paddle with softer touch. What is Tony maining? Kyle.
Oh, that's tough.
Flare Prime X, Fat Boy, TFG2.
And then he wanted
More power.
he wanted another power paddle. I'm gonna go with
Wanted a power leaning paddle with a softer touch.
the APP freaking Vapor.
Okay.
I'm going to go GX2 Power.
Ooh, that's a good
Boom,
one.
Kyle. Correct.
Oh, let's go.
Well, actually, it's a Pegasus. It's a Pegasus. So we rounded up. I even told you it was a wide body.
Well, I
name.
know, but I
Come
thought
on.
maybe he switched the shape
You're
to go
right,
a little more
you're right.
hybrid, though.
I think Braydon, we got to give him 2 points. He's right
I didn't
there.
even. I threw out a hybrid. I didn't even say wide body.
All right, so it's 2 points. I'll give the full amount. So Kyle,
3 points.
you were at 3 points. Braydon's at 0.
Wow.
The
Nice,
last
Kyle.
round, you know what? Just to make it interesting, we'll up the points. So now if you get it right, it's 4 points. So you can we can do a 4-point swing here to get a win.
The daily double.
And then if not, if it's a lookalike, you'll get 3 points to tie.
Okay.
This
So
is how
it'll
I
be a
play
clean
games with my kids. I just destroy them. Then I say, okay, last point for everything.
Last point wins.
And then you get it right again. Okay, so last one. We have a 5.5 parade player.
Okay.
This is at the Big Win. All right, so if anyone locals, they know this tag, and he's not a 5.5 player, know that he lied to the main paddle monitor and called him out. This guy is using, or girl, is using an SLK era power, okay, a Bantam TKO CX, okay, so he likes the elongated, and then before that was the Proton Series 1 Type A.
Ugh, okay.
What is this person switching to? There they go. I wanted extra power, durability, and a larger sweet spot.
Wait, what was their most recent one again?
Era power. Before that was a TKO CX. Elongated. Era power. All elongated. 5.5 player. What did they switch to? Wanted extra power, durability, and a larger sweet spot. Kyle.
Boomstick, right?
Boomstick. That's what I would say.
Yeah.
Boomstick. Boomstick.
I'll say boomstick elongated.
We're gonna
I think it's the boomstick elongated too.
correct. Both of you.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Due to a 3-point lead, Kyle is our winner on Guess That Paddle. Congratulations, Kyle. Let's give it a round of applause for Kyle
Well done,
here.
Kyle.
Wow. All right, that's it for Guess That Paddle, where the guesses are sharp, the stats are real, and the internet receipts are permanent. Huge thanks to Main Paddle Monitor and Holy for the sponsors. This is Aaron and Out. And remember, every paddle journey tells a story, but some of you, your story needs an editor. Back to you.
Man, ChatGPT is good.
Yeah, that was a good one. How do you know I didn't write that? I could have wrote that. We don't know.
Yeah,
I said it.
It's true.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry if I offended you, but I'm.
You like see me
sticking with
tabbing
my
in and
guess.
out, tabbing like the screen gets brighter on my face.
Okay, going over to Kyle's Corner, brought
Corner.
to you by Slice. Slice. This is the weighted end cap that I use and recommend all the time. It's an easy way to fine-tune your paddle's performance. They help improve balance, add power, and make your paddle easier to maneuver. All in one simple add-on made right here in the USA. Use code PBEffect to save and use the link in the description to check them out and get the cap customized if you want, because that's pretty sweet.
Sweet.
Kyle.
All right, I kept this pretty short. First, let's give a shout out to our locals that are just killing it right now. Miss Chloe Agleski taking gold in women's at the PPA Challenger event.
Cheers.
Yeah.
Chloe.
So she's over there she's cleaning house. I think that's her, was that her second gold, I think?
She is the PPA
Second.
Challenger queen.
And then, but she also got memed. I don't know if you saw it.
No.
Odoff posted a clip of her going for an Ernie and getting body bagged mid Ernie.
Nice.
So go check that out. It's hilarious.
She should be proud.
She reshared it like a champ and said maybe not. And she said like maybe not the best time to jump Ernie.
Be like, look at my gold.
But still got gold.
Ernie this.
Yeah. So shout out to her. Then shout out to Billy and Kendall, who they went 3-2 in the pro for PBA Challenger. So that's good to see some local guys getting some wins there.
Nice.
Pretty awesome. And then
Dude, sticking with shout outs. Okay, so AJ, my
Oh, yeah.
my man that I test paddles
Love
with
AJ.
Every couple of weeks. He's one of my favorite people. I went and supported him at the local senior games. This is a big tournament they do at the Flying Pickle now every year. He took gold.
I saw that.
in his age bracket for mixed, and he was. I mean, I give myself partial credit. I walk in there. He's in the middle of game 2. They're behind. I get there. I start doing my cheers. AJ becomes unstoppable.
did you cheer him
There's
on or
no
did you heckle the other team?
coincidence. You know, I knew most everyone there, and so I did both.
Okay. I love it. Yeah, I saw he took gold. That's awesome.
All right, sorry. Continue.
No, you're good.
Shout out AJ.
Yeah, also, again, Flying Pickle, awesome event. The senior games every year, that's super cool. The TFP Open's coming up. It's like $17,000 in prize money if you want to travel to Idaho and
You
try
playing
to
in it?
win some money. Nah, I don't got anybody to play with it. I mean, I just be donating money because I already confessed that you're the better pickleball player on the last podcast. So
That's right.
I'll go watch. I'll go support. Also, MLP champions. We both guessed wrong last week.
Cinema.
We both guessed wrong, so the Columbus Sliders end up taking it all.
Tell us who was on the Sliders team.
You got the Proton Boys.
Subs included.
Oh, man. You got the Proton Boys. So you got
41 players.
Klinger and DSQ.
Klinger and Daescu. Dude, they were legendary.
So good.
Man.
So good.
And then you got Paris Todd and Leia Jansen. Some fiery team there. But they took down our team favorite of the Flash, and at least they made the most of it and took it all the way to win.
So that was round one, right?
So,
they take down the Flash.
Yep.
Yeah.
Flash, we're looking definitely a lot of talk about taking this thing.
Yeah.
The Flash
Everything was
chose
like,
them. The Flash chose
shock,
them.
Flash shock, right?
Yeah,
And then-
everybody thought it was going to be Flash and Shock in the finals. That was the thoughts.
And then that's right. Then there was the choosing, right? So the Flash choose the Sliders.
Yep.
Sliders beat them, and then the Shock are like, oh, give me some of that Sliders. Then they beat the Shock.
Grim Reaper.
Yeah.
Oh, that was awesome. They played so good. And then the final, so it goes to 3 matches.
Yep.
The fives. So this is Annalie's team. They win match 1 in. Was it a Dream Breaker?
I think Dream.
Yep.
Yeah, the Dream Breaker was the first one. Yeah.
First two.
Yeah.
Yep.
The second one goes to a Dream Breaker. Sliders win this one. And then in game 3, the Sliders just won it in regulation 3-1.
Pretty.
It was fun.
Pretty awesome.
What was that? What was a highlight for you, Kyle?
No, I mean, I didn't get to watch a lot of it because I don't have CBS. And that's another thing that I hated. That
The finals was on Pickleball.
Did they
TV
put
too.
that back on Pickleball TV?
It just aired later.
Oh, see, it kept bouncing around. I was getting confused. That is one thing I do not like about pickleball being broadcast right now is I understand that it's going on these networks to get exposure, but I hate how it's like back and forth right now.
Yeah, I
It's
can get
kinda
that.
mad.
Because like I pulled up Pickleball TV and it was showing like an encore of yesterday, and then I'm like, where's it at? And then I got on Instagram and it's like, oh, it's on CBS, and then I'm like, I don't have CBS, and then it's not on regular CBS, so it's on CBS Sports.
Well, I was lucky enough to catch it on Pickleball TV. Did you see it, Aaron?
Yeah. Yep.
Do you have a highlight from it, Aaron?
Yeah, highlights. Let's see. I mean, probably the top highlight is Paris Todd hit a winner for game. It was like the most gorgeous two-y down the line. Again, they already had like a pretty good lead. It was, I don't know, what was it, 10-6?
I want to
10-7?
say 10-6, 10-7, yeah.
But I mean, that winner was so good. And then she immediately, goes crazy. And
Right, like what a good way to finish it. It wasn't like a net cord or something lame like that.
Also, CJ has arrived. That kid can't probably say his alphabet, but man, you put him on a pickleball court, and that dude is so good. But then you put a camera in front of his face, and he turns into Braydon doing a pickleball central ad read, right?
Right.
Hey, be nice. Jeez.
I will say, Dazan. I've never seen Dazan play better. She played confident.
Oh, yeah.
She was like badass. A lot of times, she'll kind of get down on herself, make a few errors, and then get shaky. She looked great, but I mean, in the last match, both Howells and Anna Lee looked a little unsettled, and I've never seen Anna Lee looked a little shaken. Not to say she was, but I'm so used to her turning it on and figuring it out, and they kind of never did. But man, yeah, shout out Sliders. I was rooting for him after they took out the Flash. It's just like underdog story.
Oh yeah.
Plus, Daescu, man, he's just like gladiator. He's just willing that team to win.
What a competitor!
So fun to watch.
He is definitely a winner. And also shout out. Did you see Tyra was supporting the Sliders on the bench? That was pretty cool to see. Good,
I didn't see that.
Good
That's
sportsmanship.
cool.
Yeah, people were like, "Why is Tyra there?" It's like she's supporting her friends. Like that was pretty cool.
But yeah, Gary V was pissed. Back to back, he's looking for that championship, and he's just courtside, and he's like, "Come on, man, come on!" If you know Gary V, that's a pretty decent.
Yeah,
impression.
oh yeah. So congrats.
But how cool that Gary V was there though. He was there supporting them.
He was there all weekend too. He was there on Saturday matches, Sunday. It's not even like he came for the prime time. He was there, courtside, cheering on his team in the timeouts. I wouldn't want to be in a huddle with him. That guy's intimidating. You know what I mean? If I missed a few thirds or a few drives, I wouldn't want to look at him. Braydon?
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, how cool is it that he was there? I mean, that guy, think of how valuable his time is.
Oh yeah.
And the fact that he was there hanging out all weekend supporting the team that he owned was really cool.
Yeah.
I looked him up today. 10.8 million followers on his IG.
Do you not follow Gary V? I follow the crap out of Gary V.
No, I've seen his stuff. A lot of his marketing. And
Yeah.
he has a bunch of one-liners that go viral that you see.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't explicitly follow.
Oh, okay. But so that was good. Congrats to the Sliders. And then lastly, I got the chance to play with one of the one of the guys over at JOOLA, he was in town this week for an event of some sort at Lifetime. I don't know what the event was for, but they got like 24 of us together to play some King of the Court. And I picked his brain a little bit on the Pro 5 because he's already got the prototype. And it is not going to be an all-foam paddle, which made me a little sad. But
I can't say I'm shocked by that. When we interviewed him, the CEO, he's escaping me. Braydon, save me here. Richard, lovely Richard. He, at that point, again, this was February, and I get that tech moves fast. He was pretty anti-foam.
No, and
not even like pretty like thinking about prototypes. And so I get the R&D process can take time, but I can't say I'm the most surprised that the JOOLA 5 won't be foam.
So the gentleman I'm talking about, he was also pretty anti-foam. He said JOOLA is going to come out with a foam paddle, but he said they're gonna be doing a lot more research before that happens. Pro 5 won't be all foam, but he did say that the radius, I don't know if you've seen it. It's an older shape of theirs.
The old ping pong.
Yeah,
one.
But it sounds like it will be coming back into circulation, that's cool because some people like that shape. So,
like through a Pro 4? Through a Pro 4 core?
It might be a Pro 5 core. He had a Pro 4 core, but I know they made one specifically for him. So
I'm really curious to see how the Pro 5 will stack up in the market with so much foam. Like, that's going to be really interesting. Like, what are they? I mean, they're running out of areas to add more areas of foam. Like, where are they going to put T? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, again, it's JOOLA, so I'm sure they will find there's going to be some innovation in the Pro 5 for sure, even if it's not going to be foam.
Yeah.
So we'll have to wait and see. Maybe they'll do another paddle event where we can go check it out early. But that was fun.
Yeah, that will be fascinating because there's so much momentum for foam, and there's a lot of discussion around foam beating out the benefits of Gen 3 for the durability reasons.
Sure.
And like when the Pro 4 came out, it was a more durable Gen 3, but in the big grand scheme of things, like it's still not that durable, right?
Yep.
And so they that's an uphill battle. If they go they have to come out with something pretty unique that's not a foam. Like Gearbox did. Gearbox doesn't make it a full foam. They get something pretty unique.
No, and that's the thing. We have no idea. They could come out with something crazy, exactly like a Gearbox or a Ripple or something that's just way different. That's not all foam.
Also, they've been only releasing annually, right? In the February March window. And so, Are they going to do a mid-cycle 5? November
I think
update?
I think it's in prototyping. I don't think they're there yet.
So it's still possible it ends up being a foam.
He was very, very certain that it will not be foam.
I know.
But then they can't release
August.
that next year. Yeah.
Yeah, it's August now. If they stick with that same cycle of February, March, it could still very well be a foam.
It's true. We'll see.
We'll see.
Yeah.
And that's all I got for Cal's Corner this week.
Profile.
All right. Let's go to Paddle Babble and Gear, brought to you by ADV. So ADV are the makers of high-quality pickleball bags and accessories. I've been using their pickleball backpack V2 myself. It's my go-to recommendation for players who want something that's tough, well-organized, and designed specifically for life on the pickleball court. If you're looking for a new bag, go hit the link in the description to learn more. Check it out. Use the code PBEffect to save. Highly endorse that bag. Okay, Paddle Battle and Gear. This will be a fun conversation. So, Ronbus Ripple. Dude, why did Ronbus Ripple just come out? Ronbus is part of the conversation, at least. Selkirk Boomstik comes out 2 weeks ago. It has the EVA foam ring surrounding a lightweight EPP core, and then their tuning system, of course. And then Bread and Butter launches their Loco. So these are available for pre-order. It's like a pre-order window setup where they're available for pre-order every couple of weeks. The next one, it will be on Tuesday or Wednesday. What was it?
I think it's Wednesday through Friday.
It's 8/27. I wrote down the 27th, whatever day that ends up being is when the next pre-order window opens up. Anyways, so they come out. They're launching this in all three shapes. He's retailing for $199. Boomstik is $333. And it also has an EVA ring surrounding an EPP core. Not unlike the Boomstik, except the EVA is a little bit wider. I'm going to put up an X-ray of all three of these paddles so we can compare them side by side. And then next, out of the blue, we have the Ronbus that sent me the email this week saying, hey, we have a full foam paddle being released, which is was surprising because this is coming off the heels of their refoam that we talked about a week or two ago.
Right.
So these are back-to-back releases. They're not throwing this into their R&D system, their ambassador program. They're just going straight to market with this. This is called the Quanta. They're going to release this in 5 different shapes.
Whoa.
So they're going to have a hybrid shape, 2 elongated, and then 2 wide bodies.
Okay.
And this also has an EVA foam ring around it that is surrounding an EPP core, though they do have a couple of different elements to it. But the core structure of all 3 of these is very, very similar, and they all play pretty similar. So looking at these x-rays, just a couple of differences noting in between these. The Boomstik has the thinnest EVA ring going around it, and then they also have some foam that's edge foam wrapped in carbon fiber that's supporting the throat area. The Quanta from Ronbus has a little bit thicker EVA ring, also has some support. They did the edge foam with the EVA ring, and of course they kind of like 3 layers there. Mm-hmm. The other 2 do not have that kind of, I guess, that edge foam element to it. But then they also have some structure in the throat area to strengthen that, and then they have I think it's called TPE inserts in kind of those bottom corners. He said that's supposed to dampen vibrations a little bit. And then the Loco has just this just a solid ring, thicker ring of EVA going around it, and then it doesn't have anything else to it other than that. So those are the 3 paddles. So speaking first of the Quanta, this someone when I was talking about this on the Instagram channel, someone called it the La Quinta. And I
like
was
the hotel?
the hotel, yeah. So shout out to Chris Chung 28 who came up with the great nickname. I was like, yeah, that kind of fits well. It's good. Easier to say. It's going to be a sleeper. Came out of nowhere.
La Quinta's kind of a budget place,
Yeah, there we go. We're going to call this the La Quinta. But it's not only does it have similar characteristics to these others, like build wise, but it's going to be retailing for $99.
Ooh.
So they're coming in with this huge budget play. These are going to be available for pre-order September 5th, and then they're going to start shipping, or they'll available pre-order the 5th, and then they will be like available, I guess, on the 12th is what they're doing there. But yeah, $99 after discount.
It's a deal.
And so here's my first impressions playing all these and kind of how they compare. So Boomstik, if we're just looking at power levels, we go Boomstik, Locos, La Quintas. The La Quintas, though, feel more similar to the Boomstiks. Like you could describe the La Quintas as like pretty much a boomstick without like the tuning system. It's just feels like a lighter boomstick is what it is. And so you can, but it's not quite as powerful. Though I haven't measured. I'm gonna go weight these up and then retest power.
I'll say put 15 grams on it. It might be the same.
Yeah, if I go put a bunch of weight on there, I bet the power level is
Senor
darn
Quinta.
near close. Yeah, a little Senor Quinta action going on there. So that's what I thought on like feel wise. The Locos do have a little bit different feel compared to these. So like the best way I can explain it is if the La Quinta and the Boomstik feel like a 16 millimeter Perseus Pro 416, the Locos feel like the 14 millimeter, where it's just like a little bit firmer. It's not quite as hollow. That those still a very similar feel, and so that's how I'm describing the difference in feel between the Boomstik and the Locos. I do prefer the feel of the Locos to the Boomstiks. It's just a little bit smoother to me, and I like because I'm partial to plusher feeling paddles, so I like that this was just not quite as hollow and just a little bit firmer. I like that feedback more than the super loud, super hollow feel of the Boomstik and the La Quintas. But we just like out of the nowhere, 3 booms, like 2 copies, 2 paddles that play very similar. All these are big power. And I don't know, what do you guys think? Like, I guess you guys have hit Boomstiks, right?
I've hit Boomstiks and I've hit Locos, yeah.
Kyle's has hit Locos. La Quintas and Locos are on your way to Aaron. I don't think you've played these ones yet, so maybe you don't have any performance thoughts. But Kyle, you've played the Loco. What were your thoughts on its playability?
Once I would agree with you that I feel like it's a little firmer than the Boomstik. Definitely not as loud. I put about 12 grams of weight on it, and then that really
you only got the elongator, right?
Yeah.
You still threw 12 grams on there?
Yeah.
Isn't that like 120 coming in?
So-
Stocky stock?
Yeah, that's 120 coming in.
Yeah.
Yo, Beefitron over there. All right.
So the
If you can name 41,
up ball. He's like,
if you could name 41 paddles, you'd be able to do it too.
oh, you hit the weight room, Aaron, and then swing weight's just irrelevant to you. And it's no, but like I really like the look. It's crazy because I like the Boomstik's a great paddle too. My only thing with the Boomstik is I don't like those weights just because I would rather be able to put the weights where I want them. But performance-wise, power-wise, I feel like they're the same. Honestly, the control to me didn't feel very different between the two. I feel like, and if that Ronbus feels the same, like there's just so many good options now. Like at $99, that's insane.
Yeah, this is a big power. I think this is just a big power move by Ronbus. Like it's kind of going back to their roots. They got popular for making good paddles that were trending with you know following kind of market trends and just coming in at $100-$120, but they've been going up in price over the last few years as they introduce the Ripple and some others, but they're just starting all over, going back to $99. This thing it was great, dude. I had a really good first impression of it. It's like these are extremely light. I'm not a fan of they have 5 shape options. The ones with the arrow curves, I don't like those shapes as much, but they do have some like more square options. These arrow curve ones, like these are very lightweight out of the box, but then these arrow curve have like a little taper to them and then a really steep handle. So the sweet spots weren't spectacular out of the box. But when I get the square models, I expect those to be a little better sweet spot wise, and it'll be easier to customize and get good setups with those. But the fact that they're coming out with 5 shapes, so you pick whatever you want because they have them all. It's definitely going to be like a player's paddle because it almost like a Franklin C45 where you have to tinker with it out of the box. It's not going to be spectacular, sweet spot wise, but it's going to be a player's paddle. And I think a lot of people are going to be talking about these online, and Ronbus just kind of threw a wrench in this power game and in the foam game. They're gonna pull some eyeballs. They're gonna be a big factor moving forward with foam paddles, especially in this high power category. Because with the Loco and the La Quinta, spending $333 on the Boomstik is real tough. The only things maybe the Boomstik has or does have as advantage over these other two is I do think the Infinigrid is legit. Yeah, and they does have the limited lifetime warranty. The Locos have a 6-month warranty. I'm not sure what the warranty is on the La Quinta, but I doubt it's a limited lifetime. And so there are some differences there. But if you're an enthusiast and you like the idea of the Boomstik and you like tinkering, like the La Quinta is going to be the way to go. And then the Locos do offer a little bit different feel, but even recommending like the Locos over the La Quintas is it's almost like, okay, what are the reasons to go that? There's not a ton, like with how similar they play. Mm-hmm. Though I even weighted up the La Quintas feels like the Boomstik. The Locos do have a little different feel, a little firmer, that little less hollow. I think is going to be attractive to some people, and so that might be worth going to it. And I do like the hybrid shape of the Loco over the hybrid option from Ronbus. If you put these side by side, the Ronbus handle is just a little bit longer and it's a little bit steeper here in the neck. Mm-hmm. So the sweet spot just isn't kind of maximized to efficiency with the Ronbus option. And so I do prefer the shape of the Loco, but this is going to be interesting as we get more opinions on these, see how these kind of shake things up. But the Locos and the La Quintas are both, they're both pretty solid, really good first impressions. We're gonna do a full review of the Locos, Aaron, though we got a first impression video coming out soon. Sweet. But kind of my quick take on the Locos is it is a bit more approachable than the Boomstik. It's not quite as poppy, not quite as powerful, but not far off. It's still like if the Boomstik is top tier, the Locos are kind of mid tier, and then you'd put maybe like a J2NF as the bottom tier as far as the power levels. But it's what I like about it is it's attractive to like if you're like a 4.5, 5.0 player who wants, bigger offense, but you're not a 5.5, right? You're good, but you're not a pro. I think the Locos are going to suit more people in that area better than the Boomstiks because it is toned down just a little bit, though the still has the big offense that some of those players are looking for. But then, it kind of brings in a new market from people like the 4.0s who want bigger power, but something that's a little bit more approachable than like a tier 1 power. And so it has like a wider net of players that can fit and maybe tame the Locos, especially over the Boomstik.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm a much bigger fan, or I like their hybrid and their standard shape. They're elongated. Kyle likes their elongated. I'm not big on it.
12 grams, please.
It's just heavy. It's 120 swing weight, and then the twist weight is 6.2. If you really do want the elongated in this play style, like I would recommend the Boomstik over the Loco, but the other two shapes I think are solid. But yeah, those are all my thoughts there. More to come, but
I got a question. I got a question for you.
Yeah.
Okay, so say I'm still in plastic world. Say I'm a Gen 3 player. So maybe I have a Vatic, not a Vatic. Maybe I have a 11624 Vapor, or maybe I have a C45, maybe a Dynasty, maybe a hybrid. I'm curious about foam. I didn't buy the J2NF, but I think I'm ready to, maybe jump one more step in power, mid power. So if I'm the best of Gen 3, low power, 4.5 player, and I go, Braydon, I either want to buy a J2NF or K, whatever, or I want to buy a La Quinta, or I want to buy a Loco. Which one and why?
Yeah, so the La Quinta and the Locos are going to give you a little bit more offense than the NF, but I think the decision, if you're in that kind of higher level, is less about the offensive output, more just about feel preference. The NF is going to be more plush, more dense. If you like that feel and you wanted something more softer than your Gen 3,
even more than Loco.
Route.
Even more than Loco?
Oh, way more than Loco. Like
nice.
Much softer than Loco. The Loco still is stiff. Same with the La Quinta. But if you do like that Gen 3 feel, then go with the Loco or La Quinta. If you're a tinker, you like customizing, go La Quinta. But if you are a little bit stickler on feel, you don't want that big, hollow, kind of louder sound, then the Loco is going to fit your preference there feel wise. But yeah, I think it kind of comes down to
sweet
the preferences on those points.
Awesome.
Cool. And then Kyle, you had one bullet point here at the end of Paddle Babble. You said co-host only paddle, smiley face emoji.
What's he talking about?
I got this new Gen 3 paddle that
what is he talking about?
You didn't get one of these, Braydon?
You didn't get one of these, Braydon?
Both of you guys got one and I didn't?
Weird. I
Wait,
guess
what?
Only co-hosts get it.
They obviously
that
don't
like?
know who sells paddles around here.
Hey,
So,
besides the point.
I don't know how much. Did they say how much we could talk about it? Anyway, it's a Gen 3. It's from Gherkin. But it's a different type of Gen 3. It's not a... Again, they're gonna be. They probably won't be mad at me. They love us talking about.
No. I DM'd him. We could talk about it.
Okay.
We can talk about it.
So it's using, instead of doing like foam all the way around, it's doing like a portion of foam in different sections. So it's like a new take on Gen 3. So it is not just like a standard Gen 3. I haven't had a chance to hit it yet. I just got it yesterday. 8.1 ounce hybrid. What'd you get, Aaron?
Yep. Same.
What'd you get, Braydon? Oh.
Was this orchestrated? Like you guys talked with Gherkin, you're like, hey, just send us the paddles.
You don't need to work.
This was calculated by minds above our own.
Yeah, this is the powers that be. But hey, Braydon, if you
I'm told it's the best paddle ever made.
If
you don't have it,
I mean, if you want to borrow it, maybe I'll let you borrow it. We'll talk about it.
All right, we'll talk about it.
Shout out Gherkin. Shout out Gherkin for the calculated.
If you decide to get one, just use code PBFX.
yeah. Won't work. Deactivate it. Use code. Use a promo code. Co-host.
Kyle and use Kyle and Aaron.
Yeah. So yeah, Gherkin sent that over. That would be funny. So we had to show it.
That's awesome. We'll see what that turns into. The Pickleball Apes, the Harmony was kind of like a Gen 3 variant that had some stuff in different places, and that one ended up being like more of a control type paddle.
Okay.
So we'll see where this one pops out.
Sweet.
Well, there you go. Good job, Gherkin. Well played. Well played. All right, we'll finish with Aaron's paddle journey. So Aaron, walk us through.
I don't have it pulled up. Do you have this screenshot on here?
Oh, I don't have a screenshot, but I do have it or I can pull it up on my computer.
Yeah, quick.
You want me to just kind of list off the paddles and
Yeah,
you
I
can talk about them?
See if I can pull it up. Sorry, I wasn't sure. Let's see if I can get more prepared than you faster.
Yeah, just go over to Paddle Journeys, type in your name, and it'll pop her up. How many we got in here? We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 back. Is this your full paddle journey? Did we skip any?
Yeah, if it's starting with
God, mine's gonna legit have like 20.
I think one's missing here. Do you see the CFS on my side? On your side?
Yeah, I see the Ben Johns. If you click full down here at the bottom right, that'll
next
expand the view.
5. Okay, so my paddle journey, I think we'll share a screenshot here. Let's see. So I started playing pickleball the end of 2023. Funny story, I had an Amazon wood paddle that I got for like Christmas, the December before, like 9 months before, something like that. And I went out with my sister and we played on these courts here with wood paddles. And this old lady comes up to me and goes, "What's that paddle? I've never seen that before." Of course, she had a JOOLA. And I remember feeling so embarrassed that I showed up to like a premier court with a wooden paddle. And it sparked this rage. So the same day, or like the same couple days, I went on OfferUp, bought a used Ben Johns Hyperion CFS 16 millimeter, and never again.
What did you get it for? Do you remember?
Yeah. So I got 2 paddles. It's actually a funny story. So I got 2. I got that one and then a 14 millimeter Vision. You remember the Vision?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. So both of those paddles for $200. Which at the time felt good. They were used, but he wanted to sell them for $220, and I wanted to get for $200. And I said, "Let's flip a coin, and if it's heads, you have to sell for $200." And it was heads.
So you like FaceTimed them and flipped it?
Yeah, no, we did in person. I met him OfferUp, so like I met a guy locally here in Phoenix, and then bought the.
I've never used OfferUp.
Yeah, it's the same thing as a Facebook Marketplace. You meet up in person, but the thing is, it was covered in lead tape. But I didn't know what lead tape was. And so the first paddle I played with was a 9-ounce plus paddle that I played probably over 6 months or 3 to 6 months with. And it was weighted up and I just had no idea. So when I switched to the Ruby, which was my next paddle, like I was going to a control paddle that was unweighted and it was like a red Kevlar. And so my next paddle, it was a revelation. And again, there was all the DBD hype, which I guess is still a thing in 2025. So the Ruby was my next, and I put in the notes here in main paddle monitor, red Kevlar, so pretty, because it was a gorgeous paddle.
It was.
And again, that was like one of the first times they had coarse peel plies.
Oh yeah.
On paddles, and so you felt that thing, and it was a
sandpaper.
Yeah, but I mean that one walked, and so some of these illegal ones could run with how they feel. But yeah, I had played the Ruby for close to 6 months until Braydon and I started working together, and then the 11.624 Monarchs came out, formerly known Monarchs, now Pegasus. But at that time they released the Monarch All Court, which was on CFC fiberglass money paddle. They had the Kevlar variant, and then that's actually when the Jelly Bean came out. And so remember, like the categories and like the catalog wasn't really identified yet, right? So he didn't have the different shapes. He didn't have the different cores of All Court, Jelly Bean, Power. And so yeah, the Monarch All Court came out. I switched to that thing. And, I put Mac was a legend. I love that paddle. So good. And then I also put, that was the most aggressive wide body at the time. And that was June of 2024.
That was almost exactly a year ago.
Not insane. A year ago, the Monarch All Court, which was CFC, if you check the database now, I'm sure it's well under 50% on pop and power. Yeah. And gosh, and I love that paddle, but let alone because it was also one of the first paddles that had a 5.75 handle. So we were talking about getting like long handles on wide body paddles. Yeah. But I played that for a long time, and then I switched to the Saga Flash short handle, 16 millimeter. I wanted the soft control. Wanted to move to a hybrid from a wide body, and still kind of had that Prism-esque feel. And then also 10 millimeter cells were really trending at that time, coming from the PaddleTech launch, and so. It was like a really affordable.
What's your level progression throughout this? You think so? You start out.
You're like probably started at a 4.5. Way back
but
then.
Like at this point, you're getting the Sega Flash. You're like.
I don't think I hit a
4.0 plus. You think like where you at this point?
Maybe 4.0. That's generous.
Hanging around the 4.0 range.
Hanging around the 4.0, leaning towards the 3.5s for sure. Okay. And then I think this was November of 2024. I think since November of 2024 to even now, I hate self-rating, but I feel a lot more confident with my game. Also,
yeah. Okay, funny Aaron story. So, Man, when did the Olsons come to Boise?
It was right before Worlds, so this was late October.
Yeah, late October.
When they did the
it was right before I
match.
split with my ex. So yeah, it was October.
Nice.
So it was October-ish. So Aaron came out to Boise, stayed with us to help film that match.
Yep.
And I hadn't really played with you much, or even ever. I don't think we really played together yet.
Yeah.
I didn't really. We didn't know each other's games yet. And so I didn't know what to expect. It's us, the Olsons. They just got in. We're like, hey, let's go play, right? So we just go to the nearby courts, and Aaron was just.
I was playing the paddle I was playing at the time. It was not the Flash, which I should have been playing. I played the not the ALW, the Bantam. What was the wide body called?
ESQ.
The ESQ 14.3. That was the controlled Bantam, right? And mind you, I was coming from Phoenix. In a different climate, playing with Franklin, and we played with like a new prototype ball. What was it? It was like a.
The short answer is he was sending everything along. Nothing was falling for him, and
let alone this is the first time I'm hanging out with Braydon and the Olsons, and I'm just a wee 3.5 that wiggled my way into a. Yeah, I had anxiety, and if I was a 3.5 at that time, I probably played like a 2.5. And then of course, I was getting bullied by 5.0 Isaac drives, and yeah, the pickleball is fun until you get your butt kicked so much that you want to quit. That was one of those days. But yeah, here I am.
So that was
a year later.
That was our first impression. But then we played it together again at the Selkirk thing when we played the Barnes brothers, and at least from that first experience, we were playing together. To then, it was a drastic change. I don't know if that was the more normal you, but you were fantastic. We played great together, and anyways, that was a funny day when we
not
played
as
with
nervous, And again, I was even playing with some Selkirk prototypes, so didn't even have my main. So next time, Braydon, we got to play a PPA Open here. I'm thinking Worlds. Let's play Open Division.
Yeah, and if you got another jump in you, we could do some damage.
We'll see. But yeah, Saga Flash all the way to C45 since February, and again C45, and I've played 50 plus paddles that have come out. But as far as the paddle, I feel like I play my best ball with is that hybrid. Got a ton of weight on it. I love how it feels. Flirting with the Paris Todd version. But I will say Paris Todd was using the blue hybrid version when she won today. Yep. Hello, you just got your own.
I haven't.
How is that a vote of confidence?
I haven't seen her use hers.
Yeah, what the heck?
I don't know.
I'm not going to switch to it. She's playing the hybrid.
That was just made available, I think, 2 days ago or something like that.
Yeah, but it sucks apparently.
She's had them I'm sure she's had her own paddle for a while.
That's what I'm saying, but it's out there, and yeah, she wasn't using it. That was funny.
So yeah, C45, that's my journey. Again, a lot of different paddles in between, just because we're all blessed to play a lot of fun paddles.
That'll conclude the episode. Thanks you guys for jumping on, and everyone for tuning in.
Have a good night.
See you guys.